Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here and enjoy the content, please consider liking and subscribing to support the channel. Today's video, we're going to do an oil change on my Audi A6. It's a 3 litre V6, so it's going to need 6.4 litres of oil. You're going to need a new filter, and you're going to need a sun plug and a washer. It's a very straightforward procedure. I'm going to go through the steps with you, and at the end of the video I'm also going to go through the costs and how much this actually cost me, minus the tools of course, but what it actually cost me to do the oil change. Okay, so without further ado, first of all, what you're going to need is you're going to need oil. This is liquid moly 5W30 4200. It meets all the specifications you're going to need for your car, for this car in particular. Then you're going to need a filter, which I bought in the main dealer, and you're going to need a new sun plug, and you're going to need a washer for it. You probably don't need to change this. I just do it as good practice. It's only a couple of quid, and because these are torqued, you don't really want to risk using it too many times because you can strip the threads on either the sump or the plug. So it's best practice just to change it for the sake of a couple of euro. You're also going to need tools, so we've got our ratchet and bars. We're going to need these hex heads. It's a number 6 I believe, to remove the sun plug. We're also going to need a couple of screwdrivers. We're going to need a torque wrench to put the sun plug back on. That gets torqued to 22 foot-pounds. We'll go through that again. We're going to need different sockets and screwdrivers just to remove the under tray as well. And we've got our trusty ratchet gun. Have this thing about 10 years, still hasn't let me down. We've also got a kit with various heads and hex heads and triple squares and stuff that we may need. You're also going to need an oil pan. This one is 8 litres. The car takes 6.4 litres, so we're going to use all of this, and a little under half of this one. So before we get started, how would you go get yourself a coffee? First, you're going to want to get the car in the air, where you actually jack the car up on one of the jacking points which are located here, and then put axle stands under or ramps or whatever. I have these ramps here. These were given to me by my uncle about 15 years ago. I've no idea what they're made of, but they haven't rusted. They've thrived on neglect, and they weigh about 35 kilos each, so they're actually pretty sturdy, and they'll hold the car no problem. The car is not going anywhere. We've got one of them on each side, so you can see there. And first thing you're going to want to do, we're going to go into the car. On your driver's side, and if you're a left-hand drive car, it might be on the passenger side, but in the footwell you're going to see this lever. We're going to pull that, and then we're just going to lift the bonnet. Your latch is underneath here. You're going to lift that up and then just pull the bonnet straight to the air, and you can see your engine there. Okay, so here under the bonnet we've got our engine cover, which is held in by 4 grommets, one in each corner. Just give it a stiff pull up and it will pop off. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to put that to one side. Now we've got our oil filter here, the oil filter housing, and we've got our oil filler cap. Open our oil filler cap, leave that there. Our oil filter housing is a 32. I've misplaced my 32 socket, so we're going to use this 32 spanner. It is a Tang. It is a very, very good one. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've ever used it on anything before. What I'm going to do is put it on there and just give it. This is only tightened to 35 newton meters, which is basically nothing, so it shouldn't be too tight. We're just going to break the seal on it. This bolt to the one I got off Audi very recently. There we go. That's out. So yes, it is. There we go. And we're just going to leave that like that to dry now. Now we've done everything we need to do up here for now. Let's get under the car. Okay, we're back under the car. We've got our new bolt. You're going to want to thread this in by hand. Lovely black oil all over everything. Good for lubrication, not good for holding tools. So let's thread that in by hand. Now that's just hand tight there. I'm going to take our torque wrench, which is set to 22 foot-pounds. Get a tool in there. Now, just gently do this, wait for the click. That's that. You go no more. You hear the click, and that's that. That's done. Now let's tidy up a little bit of spillage there. For those of you that don't know, oh good luck, well done. For those of you that don't know, I have 1-year-old triplets, so I have no end of rags in the form of soiled baby clothes and soiled baby grows, which anyone who has children, anyone who has children will know you get plenty of, because kids get everything. Okay, now we're at the top of the engine. We're going to take out the filter. We've already unscrewed this. Now there's your filter there. The one I'm going to want to do is grab it, just give it a tug, and it'll release the filter out of the housing. There you go. Get the housing on one side, and there's your old dirty filter, genuine Malay one from Audi, which it will be replaced with as well. We'll put that to one side. Here we have our new filter. The new filter comes with a new O-ring. I'll take this O-ring off, and that's going in the bin as well. Don't need that. Then I want to put a little bit of oil on the O-ring, just to make a good seal, and then it sits into a little channel down here at the end of the oil filter housing. Roll it all the way down there, and that's where she sits, all the way down the end. It's ready. Now the oil filter is flat on one end, and you've got a little tang on the other. The tang corresponds to a bit down there. So what you want to do is, you'll see in the oil filter housing, this little tang corresponds to a little hole down there. I want to find that and then send it home, and you'll feel it. Don't turn, you'll feel it pop in, and that's your oil filter done. Lid on, careful not to cross thread, just tighten it by hand. Now on the top of the filter, careful not to cross thread, he says as he cross threads it. On the top of the filter it says 35 Newton meters of torque. I don't have, as you know, a 32 head on for my socket. I don't know where it is, so we're just going to do it with the spanner. Oh, wire is in the way, that's why it's not going down. Okay, so let's tighten that down, and then let's get the filling the oil. Right, so let's put our oil in. This is a 5 litre, car takes 6.4, so we're going to use all of this. Yeah, that's 6. A little bit more. And that'll just about do. As you can see, our level sitting here just at the line where I want it. So we got 100mm, 200mm, 300mm, and then 400mm. That should be about perfect. So let's get the engine cover back on, get the cap back on the oil, let's get the car back on the level, and let's check our oil level on the computer and reset our service light. Okay, so I've gone for a short drive to warm the car up so we can check the oil level. So what we're going to do is, we're going to press car, bring us to this screen, and we're going to press systems. We're going to get out the servicing and checks. I'm going to hit oil level. So oil level okay, so we're a little bit below the max, so we need to top it up by a little bit. I'll put about 50 to 100mm in it there now in a little while. So that's okay, so the oil level is okay, that's what you want to see. We're going to go out, we're going to go to service intervals. I'm going to click that, and we're going to click down 1 to reset oil change interval. I'm going to click into that. Do you really want to reset the oil change interval? We've just changed our oil and filter, so yes we do. Oil change filter interval has been reset. So your next oil change is in 15,000 kilometers or 365 days. Now your next service interval is in 900 kilometers or 18 days, but I'm just going to reset that as it comes up because I've done a lot of work to the car off camera. I've changed the front and rear diff oil, I've changed the air filter, I've changed the glow plugs. I've done a lot of servicing to it and a lot of checks, and it's fine. It needs nothing else. Now let's go through our costs for our oil change. I bought the parts in Audi North Dublin, who are very good. They had all the parts on the shelf, they usually do. This is my second Audi and I can't remember waiting for parts for more than maybe a day. They're very good up there, they know their stuff. So let's go through what we got. We got an oil filter, 1538, sump bung washer, 376, and the actual sump bung for a 6-cylinder engine is 525. Add that all together and put the VAT in, it's €30 even. Now, I bought the oil in my local motor factors. If you remember, we had one 5 litre and two 1 litres. The 5 litre came out to 66.75 and the two 1 litres came out to 13.04. That's 7.52 each. You put the VAT on top of that and it's 114.99. Now you add those two together, you get 144.99 for your oil change, which would be quite a bit shy of what you'd pay in the main dealer. So obviously the price of tools doesn't come in on top of that, but you buy the tools once, you have them forever. Plus it takes about an hour of your time to do it in the garden. Taking your time, having a coffee and chatting to the camera. Took me about an hour. Now, just with reference to the sump bung plug and the washer, I've checked my last service document, which I did buy in Audi North Dublin as well, and the part number has changed. So in a future video I will be going through what the last service cost me and what the total ownership cost has been for me over the last 18 months of owning this car. I've done a couple of service items and I've done 2 oil changes, so I'll go through all that in a future video. So if you like what you see, please like and subscribe to the channel, and for those of you who have been here